Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you with the story about Daniel Bryan saying his WWE career may be over. Daniel Bryan is pretty much at a time in his life right now when WWE just uses him as a guy to fly around the country, promote tickets going on sale, doing a lot of radio interviews, going overseas, and being the sort of wrestler that builds promotion for the WWE to be coming to their city, and that's basically what he's become, is just like almost like an ambassador for WWE, to go out there and put over the big shows that are coming, and just do a lot of radio interviews and a lot of press. During all these radio interviews, basically Daniel Bryan is always asked what the status is of his WWE comeback. Is WWE going to wrestle again? Will we ever see him wrestle again? Will a doctor ever clear him to wrestle? And, the quote that Daniel Bryan said was, "I think it could be the end of my career in WWE, but I don't think it will be the end of my career. I can find another passion, but it would just be sad because this is what I've been most passionate about since I was 5. Pushing himself to become a WWE wrestler, and, he rose to the heights of winning the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 30, and then from there, we all know about the problems that Daniel Bryan had with his neck, which then led to him pushing himself to come back earlier this year, only for him to win the Intercontinental Championship, and then another concussion that he received due to a kick to the head from Sheamus. I believe it was a brogue kick on a match on SmackDown, ended his career. I really can honestly say that it might be a little bit selfish. I do want to see Daniel Bryan wrestle again. I've always been a real big fan of Daniel Bryan. But at the same time, I don't want anything bad to happen to Daniel Bryan from coming back. Who knows if maybe the next concussion that he might receive, and anytime you get into the ring, there's always a chance of receiving a concussion, doing some sort of a back bump and your head smacking the mat, or taking another brogue kick, or any kind of a kick to the head. Daniel Bryan's wrestling style is something that he can't really change. I mean, he can't really become some comedic wrestler who doesn't take any bumps anymore. And I don't think he would want to be a guy like the Honky Tonk Man, wrestling on independent shows, just doing a lot of spots, not really, taking bumps. That's not really the style of wrestling that Daniel Bryan is known for. I would love for Daniel Bryan to wrestle again if I knew he was never going to receive another concussion and nothing was ever going to affect the way he lives the rest of his life outside of wrestling once it is really done. I would love for Daniel Bryan to retire and just live his life with Brie and live a good life from here on out, if that's, what it has to take. But, I mean, Daniel Bryan has pretty much put it out there that if WWE would release him from his contract, he would go wrestle for another company, whether if that's overseas in England, whether if that's for TNA, whether if that's for Ring of Honor, whether if it's for Lucha Underground, AAA, any company that would bring him in, he would go wrestle for them, because it has been his life passion to put on the best wrestling matches that he knows how to do. So I think that pretty much WWE has a hard line in the sand. The WWE official doctor has wrote it down on his, medical chart that Daniel Bryan is not to return, and that leaves WWE liable, that if Daniel Bryan does get back into a WWE ring and does wrestle and does receive another injury, that Daniel Bryan could sue WWE, and Daniel Bryan could sign 1,000 papers basically saying that he would not sue WWE over this. But you got to think of who takes the Daniel Bryan name, whether that means if something really bad happens to Daniel Bryan and Brie would sue, or if Daniel Bryan and Brie have a child and later down the road, the child sues WWE over their father not being able to be there for him, and WWE knew not to put him in the ring, but still did it because they bought into how much how over Daniel Bryan would be and how much money they would make off of it, and all sorts of different things. So there's a lot of scenarios that sort of builds the case against Daniel Bryan not wrestling. I just want the best for this guy, whether if it's for him just to live his life, doing work for WWE, trying to, get them over, whether if it's an agent in the back trying to help out with the young guys, whether if it's him having a job at the Performance Center and trying to train guys, whether if it's for him doing commentary or anything that they can find him to do a job. I just want him to be able to do the job the best and be able to live a good life and be happy about, living life and just live life almost the way that you think that Daniel Bryan lives it. So we'll have to see what this comes. I've almost come to the point myself where I think that Daniel Bryan's never going to wrestle again. But from reading interviews and listening to interviews, it almost seems that Daniel Bryan hasn't put wrestling behind him, and he wants to wrestle again if he can find a place to wrestle.